welcome back to another Parts Factory Australia installation tutorial video. Guys, we're back out in the farm and we're working on this YD25 Nissan Navara. Now this video will be specifically covering the power steering pump, but it's also applicable for the Pathfinder. So if you've got the R51 Pathfinder or the D40 Nissan Navara, then you can use this video to learn how to fit a brand new power steering pump. Now guys, if you do need this part before we get started, get it on its way, get it in your hand. We have them available here at Parts Factory. They're 178 bucks with free express post anywhere in Australia. And guys, if you are international, yes, we have FedEx available on checkout. So jump on, grab the pump, get it in your hand, then use this video. I'm gonna teach you how to fit it. And yeah, save yourself some money rather than going to a mechanic. Now, before we jump into it, one last thing I need to tell you. You must, if you are putting a new power steering pump, because your old one has obviously packed up, and basically the issue with it breaking and packing up is actually then contaminating your fluid system. So not only do you need to replace the pump, you also need to do a full flush of your power steering fluid system. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this video to the point where it's up to that step, and then I'm gonna guide you to another video where he will show you how to flush, and then at the end he will also show you how to prime. And then once you finish flushing, you can come back to my video, relearn how to put it back on, and yeah, you see where I'm getting there. But we'll work it out as we go, so don't worry too much about that. Alrighty guys, let's jump into it. Little 7mm here guys. I'm thinking if you can pull it off the throttle body, maybe we can just tuck it out of the way over here, and that way you don't have to completely remove it. Look at that. Now I can get right down in there nice and easy. Alrighty guys, so we've now got a lot more clearance to get in here. So at this point, I'm going to loosen off what looks like it's probably a 13 or a 14, and this fan belt will loosen up, and we can actually then pull the fan belt off to the side. It's actually not bad because it only goes around the main crank pulley here and the power steering pump. So it's actually a power steering pump belt. So yeah, we'll loosen this off and we'll get this belt off. Alrighty guys, so I've used a 13 to loosen this off, but the pulley won't move, and that's because you need to loosen this 15mm. Loosen that a bit and then it'll all start flopping around. So yeah, grab your wrench and loosen this 15mm. Alrighty guys, so I've gone and grabbed a nice long 14mm spanner. I'm just gonna come down, hopefully it's 14, anti-clockwise, hopefully without threading it. I feel like I'm about to. Alright, so that's loosened up a little bit. Let's loosen it off a bit more. We'll see if that pulley will move now. There you go, look at that. And off comes that belt. That's nice and easy. Okay, so just leave that belt chilling. Put it down out of your way. Now, we're gonna undo this big looking 17 or 19. And we're gonna undo this alligator clamp here. And we're gonna be on our way to a victory. All right, so somehow I was way off, 24mm. We're gonna bring our wrench in, see if we can get the electric wrench to crack it, but we're onto that big 24 down there. I think it will, but we'll give it a go. If not, I'll have to put the camera down just for a sec. Right, so I use my little rattle gun. That way, a little bit of rattle action getting in there. Now I'm going to lift the banjo bolt up, remembering very well that there's copper O-rings underneath that hose. Look at that. You got your banjo bolt and you got your copper O-rings. I believe, yes, you're gonna need to keep them because our brand new power steering pump from Parts Factory doesn't come with the banjo bolt to go into that fitting. So, remember, you are now going to lose some fluid onto the floor. Nothing crazy, but I suggest just putting a rag down on the floor and a rag, you know, just here, so that as it does leak, it just leaks onto that rag there. Okay, guys, grab a pair of pliers, undo this alligator clamp, squeeze, and bring it along the pipe. And then the last thing to do would be to remove the pump off its bracket. Alrighty, guys, so you can now reach down, and we're going to undo this hose clamp. Obviously it's going to be hard for me to do it with one hand. I'll give it my best try. Oh, look at that. I am a magician. Alright, so you've moved that along. Now you can just grab that hose and give it a twist, hopefully. And then yeah, just as long as you can twist it, you can just pull it off, and yep, we're going to lose more power steering fluid, guys. You will need to get in there with a rag or a bit of degreaser and just degrease that area off, collecting it into a bucket, something like that. Now guys, this is the moment where you need to consider that we do need to reflush the power steering fluid system. Good thing is a lot of it's already been done for us. We've just lost all this fluid down onto the ground. Obviously you lose your power steering fluid out of here, out of this reservoir here, but your pump here. But the final step is to blow it out of the steering rack. To do that, you can just grab this hose here, and basically you put a high pressure air into the end of it and push it all through. Have someone, you can actually jack up the car and steer the car right and left while you're blowing it all out, and all of that power steering fluid is going to come out of your high pressure line, which is where the hell's that high pressure? Oh yeah, it's fallen down the bottom there. It's all going to blow out, and basically it just clears out all the stuff. If you want to continue to do it, you can put more fluid in here and continue to blow it out, and the more you blow out of all that contaminated fluid, the better, guys. If you want, you can go and watch another YouTube video on how to do it properly. That way, yeah, you can come back to my video and learn how to get that off. But yeah, don't forget guys, a bit of degreaser down there, or if you had put rags down there before, then a lot of it will be caught anyway. But at the end of the day, you don't want any of this oil in your engine bay, so definitely be prepared to get the degreaser out and give your engine bay a wash. Alrighty guys, so now that everything's disconnected, bar the power steering pump itself, you can put a 12mm socket through the holes of the pulley of the power steering pump, and you can undo. I think there's 3 12mm. You got 1 and 2 at the front and 1 at the back. So see how I can just bring that little 12mm up on my wrench and then find somewhere safe to put it. Just here for now. You can do the same thing guys. You go back down in there, put your socket through the pulley, and then you can track yourself around till you get to the other bolt, which is up the top. I think you can just see through there. And yeah, you can hopefully, same thing again, look at that. So the electric wrench is really coming in clutch for this job, rather than getting down there and, you know, cutting your hands and whatnot. If you don't have an electric wrench, unfortunately, you're just gonna have to use a regular wrench. So 1 and 2, look at that. And now, the third one is at the back of the pump. Let me see if I can get my camera down in there for you. There it is right there, center of the screen. That's your 12mm. I'm thinking for that one, open end ring spanner. So I'm going to go and grab an open end ring spanner in one moment. Good old Stanley open end ring spanner. Hopefully we can just come straight down. We're bloody oily and messy now, we are. Hopefully straight down. I know I'm trying to do everything at once here, but there it is there. So see that? I've actually got that right on there. And then it's lefty loosey, so it means we bring it towards us. Let's just see if we can get a better position. There it is. That's the position we're looking for. Just come up. Look at that. Nice, and because everything's greased down here, nothing's rusted. So I got it to the point where I think, yep, I'm going to be able to do it by hand. Brilliant. Okay, this is what we want. Because my understanding is that it's only 3 bolts that hold this whole thing on. So you know what that means. Pull this last one out. Put it somewhere safe. Grab your big bloody hoses that come off the side of it. Let's give it a wiggle. See if it'll move. Let's just double check we're not forgetting anything. Let's make sure. You can always just look at your other pump. Ooh, there might be another bolt on the bottom. Okay, so that's not too bad, because we've got our little tool here, this one. We're going to put it straight in the pulley again, and hopefully line it straight up down there. That's if it is there. It does not necessarily have to be. Yeah, so it's not directly on the floor, like facing the ground. It's slightly offset to the right. Oh. Nice. Another success from the rattle gun. So I just put my camera down the hole, and you can see our bracket here that we pulled. Is that bracket just there? We pulled out that top bolt, look at that other bolt there just sitting there. So we're gonna have to get that one as well. Remember, it's your open end ring spanner, I'm hoping. We'll see how we go. Yeah, so this is definitely looking like it's the problem. So yeah, just grab that 12 mil out. It's actually not too bad because once again, it seems to want to undo by hand. So you can crack it with your ring spanner and then get in there and hopefully, yep, there we go. It's gonna spin out by hand, and then let's hope third time's the charm. That's the last bolt. All right, my initial thoughts, guys, is we're looking much better this time. Right, let's give it a go, eh? Give it a nice wiggle. She wants to come or not? Who knows? Still feels like it's pretty tight in there, but it's gotta be it, right? Surely. It wants to come up, that's the problem. So I kind of need to do like a row, pull it towards us. So what I've done is I've jumped over onto the left a bit, and I'm basically just wobbling it out all the way, manhandling it. I got a feeling it's kind of just stuck. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just going to keep doing that and see how we go. Oh, boom. Woohoo! Look at that. One YD25 power steering pump. Alrighty, guys. So we got the defective power steering pump off. It's now time to reach over, grab our new one. As you can see, this is obviously the parts factory variant, guys. They are an OEM replica and they do include a 3-year warranty. So if you need it, get it on its way, buy it, get it to your door, and then of course use this video to DIY fit it yourself. As you can imagine, it's the same procedure in the reverse direction. I'm going to first start though by adjusting the position of this high pressure line to the vertical position, because I can see that this one's vertical, so it's probably best to follow OEM. Other than that, make sure you try and get some fresh copper crush rings. Just take this banjo bolt to your local hardware shop, get some copper crush rings, and yeah, we're gonna put it back in. Alrighty, guys, so I'm not gonna install a good, nice, fresh one, because this is just a scrap car. So I'm gonna reach down, and you'd just be pretending that this is your new one. And you can just tuck the pump into its little position. Once again, it's gonna be a little tight. As we found out before, it's not a perfect snug fit. So you just tuck it into its position, hopefully. So it goes in quite nice eventually. And this is obviously where we then line up all of the bolts, front and rear, and go ahead and put it all back together. Okay, guys, so the pump was a bit hard to get in. So what I did is I put this shifter that I just showed you on the front bracket, like this, and I just bent it out a little bit, just an inch, and that way, or just a millimeter, sorry, and that way the pump went in nice. I'll put all the bolts back in. So at this point, it's time to put our hose back on, like so, and then of course the high pressure line, which is where? Oh, here. And then remember, this one needs the banjo bolt, and you put the copper O-ring through, and then you line up that little, let me zoom in, you line up that little male part with the female part with the copper O-ring and banjo bolt. It's very hard for me to do it with one hand, but you can imagine I put the copper O-ring on the other side, like so. See if I can try and do it. You could put that one through, right? And then you lift it and you put it on the other side, and then you can hopefully rest down without dropping the O-ring and tighten it up. But again, it's going to be much easier for you to do it with two hands. Let's see if I can try it. I'll put this down for a sec. It's now time to tighten up every single bolt all at once, including the rear ones. That way everything's nice and firm. And then obviously last step, guys, or one of the last steps, fan belt back on. Make sure it's over the crank pulley correctly. It goes over the tensioner. It goes back over the pulley. And then all you do is you use this 12 to tighten it up. I'll grab my tool. Okay, and then you bring your tools in, tighten it up to where the tensioner is straight at least. So the fan belt's straight. and then you can have a feel of the tension. So it needs a little bit more. I'm going to do that up by spanner. You can basically turn it adjustment by adjustment and get that fan belt tension back to the OEM spec. Now don't forget this. So the final thing we need to tighten up. It's basically 2 clicks on the rattle gun, no more. You don't want to over crush the copper rings, because if you over crush them, you will get some leakage. So if you've got a little rattle gun, just 2 clicks all the way to the end, done. That's it. And now I'm going to have a feel of that fan belt. It still needs a bit more. The further it comes, the tighter it gets. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to bring my little 24mm down, tightening it up nicely until it gets to that point where it's about to click, just like that. That's all it needs, guys. And other than that, as you can imagine, it's now time to put our hose back, which is just that little 8mm as we discussed. You can just tuck it back over. Again, one of those things I might need 2 hands for. There it is. And then of course, little 8mm, tighten it up to spec, battery back in, and then of course at that point, it's time to fill up your reservoir, all the fluid. Oh, don't forget, alligator clip back to here, fill up your reservoir. Remember, your entire system is now empty, so you actually need to gravity feed the steering rack full of fluid. At this point, you want to be going and watching the YouTube video that I will supply in this YouTube video, how to prime a power steering pump. Follow those instructions carefully and you get the job done. Alrighty guys, I trust everything has gone nice and smoothly priming up your fluid system. I'm trusting that he showed you how to jack the car up, do the full left and right rotation, get all of that air out of the power steering pump, and yeah, everything's going smoothly as it should. Alrighty guys, don't forget, if you can, subscribe to the channel. You never know when this YouTube channel might come in handy. It's a good thing to have in your toolkit if you are doing your own DIY repairs. Alrighty guys, my name's Lucas. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.